I was asked earlier today about ways to get the most out of a certain set of stats. While viewing the report from this particular request, I noticed that there were some areas where there are very clear advantages to having things done a certain way. One of those things is within guard weapons. Depending on what your focus is with your account, you'll want your guard weapons to be honed and enhanced to maximize certain stats. So, as is probably evident right here from my guards, I use predominantly distance with this and Aramis. My guards aren't quite maxed yet, but as you can see, work in progress. So when we go into our guard weapons, that's not guard weapons. When we go into guard weapons, again, you'll notice that number one, when I'm upgrading my stats, my number one focus is always my top 3 stats. The things that are based on troop stats. And then because I use distance is my next in line. Once I finish getting my 2 distance, I will then move my infantry up. As you can see, I'm preparing to do that by upgrading those to prepare them for that next advance. Also within this window is our honing and enhancing. So when you have your weapons crafted and in here, every day you'll get 5 free and honing chances. I've already done them, but basically you're trying to maximize the stats of whichever troop type you're actually using. So if you don't have any cavalry, there's no sense at all putting cavalry stats on your guard weapons. You're not using cavalry. It's just a waste of a stat area that could be used to increase the stats of the troop type that you're actually using. If you've got some of these higher end weapons on a farm, you can use this enhancing to enhance the way they collect resources, the speed at which they do so, or the storage that's protected, or some of those stats. But in terms of a combat account, you want these stats to be focused on whichever troop type you're using. So in this window, amongst my weapons, you will often see infantry defense or infantry health or distance attack or distance health or troop attack or troop health. Those are my 6 main focus stats. If I can get any of those to purple, I'm happy. I try to maximize all my weapons into 3 purples. I haven't quite got them all yet, but that is the goal in here, is that you want 3 purple stats that match the stats of the troop types that you're going to be using. Another area that does need focus when it comes to squeezing out stats is within your research. My research isn't nearly where it should be, but I took a little break from this particular account, so I'm a little behind. But combat the Combat 2 tree gives you the most value for what you're putting in. So again, because of what I use, I focus it to my troops. So my distance attack is maximum as far as I can go. When you go in here, over here on the left hand side, it shows you that you're gaining 7% for this level. If we compare that over here to the Combat 1 tree, find anyone that isn't actually, because it doesn't really matter. You gain 2% for what you put in. Yes, it takes less time, but it takes forever to build your stats off of these. These are, I mean, obviously over time you want to do them. It's nice if you've got research gear and you've got good guard appointments. You should have zero cost in here other than time. But for the most part, I like to finish Combat 2 first, get the biggest increase for my stats I can. And then the other one down here is this, not this one, this one. In here you have the ability to research things that lower the advantage from an off strength wheel battle. So for me, again, I like my distance. So one of my primary focuses is in here is anything that reduces the cavalry advantage against my distance. The reason being, if I can minimize the damage that their cavalry does to my distance, it keeps more of my distance alive, which then translates into my distance killing more of their cavalry. Because I also use infantry out front, I will come in and I'll do the same thing with my infantry. I will focus on anything that lowers the impact that cavalry has on my infantry. Those will be my primary focuses, and then I will fill out the rest of the tree after I've got my stats created the way I need them to be for me. I will have another video coming up that will go through a different set of functions, because the thing about Guns of Glory is that everything intertwines with something else somewhere along the lines. So I will do another one here shortly and share that with you as well. Thank you for watching.